So finally, your baby is here. And we often think it's time for us to rest, but it's a time which comes with its own demands. And for the father, it's mostly, oh, finally I can have my wife back. But for the mother, it seems the baby is taking our whole minds. How do we strike a balance? Because for that baby to grow up healthy and strong and have all the things they need, our relationship has to strive, which is why today we are talking about a very important yet often overlooked topic: postpartum sex. After giving birth, a lot of mothers and couples usually have the question of one, is it okay for me to resume sex? So today we are going to be covering that, emotional changes, physical changes, and many other things which would help you on this journey. Hello healthy moms, welcome to Inyango. Inyango means mothers, and on this page we talk all things motherhood, from tips and tricks to hacks to personal experiences to make your motherhood journey easy. We understand that motherhood is challenging enough on its own, so we believe that with any little help, it can help you be amazing and be the wonderful mother which you want to be. So whether you're somebody helping out or you're actually going through the postpartum journey, we're going to be offering valuable information here today which you need to know. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is healing time. When is the right time to start? That's like the first question which everybody has in their minds. Normally doctors give 4 to 8 weeks, but there is the average of 6 weeks for you to heal enough to start or resume sexual activity. Now, this is also dependent on the kind of birth you had, whether you had a vaginal birth or you had a perineal tear, that is you having a tear while giving birth, or you had a C-section. The time would vary, and you just have to try to listen to your body. Because no matter what the doctor says, they say 6 weeks, and by 6 weeks your incisions or the wounds you had are not healed enough, then you can't go in because the doctor said 6 weeks. You have to listen to your body. The next thing I would like us to talk about is Lochia. This is a discharge that comes out after you've given birth. It could look, in the beginning, it can be different, and it is advised that you wait until the Lochia has stopped. In some women, they think that Lochia is their periods coming after giving birth, but that is not what it is. If you want to know more about Lochia, we have a video on it. Just check on our page. I'll try to put a link of it in the description box so you can learn more about that discharge which comes out of you after giving birth. But normally, it is important for us to wait until it has reasonably reduced or it has stopped completely before we can engage in any sexual activity. Now, if you're new here, please do not go anywhere, and remember to subscribe before you leave, because that helps this channel in ways that you cannot even imagine. And next time that we're talking about something as interesting as this, if you're subscribed, you get a notification. If you're subscribed and you've put on the notification bell, you're going to get a notification on the videos that we upload. So please consider subscribing. And if you're old, thank you so much for always coming back. Now, the third thing I would like us to talk about is hormonal changes. A lot of moms feel like they have just gotten abnormal after giving birth, but let me tell you something. The hormones that are going on in your body are enough to make anybody crazy. So please take your time. Let me explain it to you so that you understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because I feel like with an explanation like this, it can help you more to adapt and manage the situation. After you give birth, normally you have to breastfeed, and there is a hormone which is related to breast milk production, which is prolactin, which is what helps your breast milk to be produced. Now, the other side of this hormone is it leads to decreased libido, right? So if you're producing prolactin, you'll normally not be feeling so much as to have any sexual intimacy, right? Your desire for sex will be far much reduced. That is like the body's own way of preventing you from taking in and concentrating and helping you to concentrate on nurturing that new baby instead of you taking in with another baby, right? So there is the production of this hormone called prolactin, which helps with breastfeeding, which will make you not to want to engage in any sexual intimacy. It starts from the brain, and with prolactin, your main aim is, oh, I want to nurture my baby, I want to be around my baby, I want to make sure that my baby is fine. So sometimes you might not feel like getting into any sexual intimacy, and that is normal. But it's also important for you to know that it's normal, but it is temporary. If this lasts for too long, then you might be getting into depression somehow, or postpartum anxiety, which is something that might just make you to lose interest in everything about life. So we have to also understand the hormonal changes which occur in your body after you give birth, to understand that you're not abnormal, to not want sexual intimacy, but that is just how your body is prioritizing nurturing your baby instead of making other babies. Now, let's go to the fourth thing. Physical recovery. This is something which is very important. As I said before when I was talking about healing time, your physical recovery will depend on the kind of birth that you had. If you had a vaginal birth, or you had a perineal tear, that is a tear while you were giving birth, or you had a C-section, your recovery time will differ. So you just have to listen to your body and give yourself or your body enough time to recover before you can start engaging in sexual intimacy. It is very, very important. In a common parlance, they say, oh, bikini fooding for black before you start do things, right? So the explanation here is your body has to recover. If you had an incision or you had a tear, there are scar tissues which can lead to discomfort. It's those scar tissues which make it in a way that when you pee, you feel pain, right? So imagine if you're having some friction happening in that place. If you have a wound on your hand, imagine rubbing that wound. You normally feel discomfort. So you have to give your body enough time to heal for you to be able to start engaging in sexual activity. And please, a lot of us women worry about the fact that our husbands are going to go out. If it's going to go out, it's going to go out. Whether you kill yourself, you still go out. So prioritize yourself and take care of yourself. Prioritize yourself first. If you want things to change, change yourself, prioritize yourself, and everything is going to go well, right? So let's think about ourselves first and give ourselves enough recovery time for our bodies to heal before we start engaging in sexual activity. That also goes to the daddies. Please, the woman has gone through a lot and her body needs time to heal. That is why she might not want it. And the hormones and everything are in play. So that is why she might not want it, okay? Please give us the time so that our bodies can rest. Now, something else which I want to talk about is the vaginal dryness might last a longer period. So maybe after the 6 weeks, you might still be experiencing a lot of vaginal dryness and you're feeling discomfort when it is actually happening, which is the reason why you might not just want it. In this case, you can try lubricants, and it is very important to try water-based lubricants. And when you're buying lubricants, check the ingredients to make sure that there is nothing in it that is harmful for your baby. Read enough. With enough reading, you'll know what is good for you and what is good for your baby. So try lubricants so that at least your relationship can flourish, because sex is a very important part of intimate relationships with men and women and in a marriage. So it needs to be happening. So if you're feeling so much discomfort, try lubricants, as they can help make it more enjoyable and not something that is just like pain. Okay, now another thing which I want us to talk about is contraception. A lot of women have the misconception that the fact that they are breastfeeding, they cannot take in. Yes, breastfeeding is one way that you can prevent taking in, but with all contraceptive methods, it also has its flaws. It also has its weak points. There is the 5% gap that, oh, you can still take in, right? So it is very important for you to discuss with your partner, for you to understand your family planning method that you want, or how you intend to give birth to your babies. Also talk to your healthcare provider to know the contraception method that works for you and your partner. Because as sad as it might be, you can actually ovulate before your friend. You ovulate. Normally, you ovulate before your period comes. Now, I'm talking about period things, and I'm wearing my period body t-shirt today so that I can encourage you to join the My Period Body movement. If you want to know more about it, please check on myperiodbody.org and see how you can join this movement. So, talking about period, which if you want to know more about period, you should go to My Period Body. We know that you ovulate before your period comes. So you could have given birth and you're ovulating and you're doing things, and then you take in and you think, oh, I did not even see my period, how come I'm pregnant? That is because normally with periods, you ovulate before your period comes. So you have to try, if you don't want to take in anytime soon, you have to try to use either a natural contraceptive method or the one which you're taking drugs, or any way to help you prevent a baby from entering. So contraception is something that you should be thinking about when you're thinking of resuming sexual activity in your postpartum period. One other thing which is very important: communication. Communication is key, right? It is key. A lot of times women are mostly very shy. Sometimes men, their ego just takes over them. But it's important for you to have open communication with your partner at this point of postpartum, because if you don't have open communications, they start feeling like you're selfish, and they need you to satisfy their sexual urge, and all you're thinking about is the baby. They start to think like, the baby has taken my place, and that can lead to further problems. I understand that us mothers usually think that, my baby comes first, I'll do everything for my baby. But then for that baby to be okay, you need to be happy. For you to be happy, you need to be okay with yourself. Your relationships need to be okay, right? So it is very important for you to have open communications with your partner. If you're having intercourse and you're feeling pain, tell him, please babe, it's paining me here, it's doing me like this, and I don't feel very comfortable. Do you know something that we can try? Can we try other positions? Can we try other things that can help it be more comfortable? Because at this point, this is how I'm feeling. And maybe I read one time and we were talking about breast milk related to prolactin, which leads to vaginal dryness and reduction in libido. Maybe that's why I'm not feeling like it. It's not like an excuse, but it's a reason, or making him or both of you to understand why things might be going the way they are going. It's not like you don't love your partner anymore, but your body is prioritizing nurturing the baby. As such, open communication can really help your relationship thrive in these trying times when there are sleepless nights, there's the stress of taking care of the baby, there is a lot of pressure on both of you. So you should communicate. Now, on to the next thing. Something else you want to do is, if you realize that resuming sexual activities is becoming like something that you're so scared of, or it's causing a lot of problems. There are cases where husbands who watched their wives give birth are just like, I don't want her to go through this anymore, so I'm not going to touch her anymore. Or women who have gone through that and they are feeling, maybe they had tears, they are so afraid and they don't want to go through it anymore. In cases like that, seek professional help, because it might not just be about the physical recovery, it might be the trauma of having to give birth. Because being in that place where you're just waiting for your body to do what it has to do for the baby to come out, you don't have so much control. Yes, you have some control, but you don't have so much control. It might be difficult for you to come back to real life. And there is something that I want you to know. Talking to a professional doesn't always mean that you have to have a very mighty problem before you seek professional help. Talk to someone who can help you, someone who won't judge you, but will seek ways to help your relationship flourish, and seek ways to help you, tell you more about how you can go about resuming sexual activity that is not going to be very challenging for you or your partner. It is very important for every family, every couple to constantly engage in sexual activity as a method of even growing their own relationship. In intimate relationships is very important, right? To keep the bond going, to keep things going, it has to be there. For most mothers, after they give birth, they're just like, I don't just want it anymore. I don't feel okay with my body. The struggles of postpartum are just so many for women, and then the stress, when there is that stress for most women, for most of us, sex is not even something that should be in the picture. And sometimes you start feeling like, the man is too demanding. Why can you not understand that I'm going through all this, laying of all these things? But hey, we are humans and we have our needs. If you need to do your hair, your husband is not judging you for wanting to do your hair, right? So why are you judging him for wanting to be satisfied? We have to understand each other, put these things in place for us to have our relationships going, so that our kids, our babies, our lovely babies that we love so much can grow in an environment which is conducive enough for their mental health, for their physical well-being and all. Also, there is the impact of breastfeeding. Sometimes just the fact that breastfeeding takes a lot of time, and a lot of us don't know enough about breastfeeding before we get into it. It can also be another point of stress that is making you to feel like, I don't just want, I don't see now breastfeeding the baby, please don't touch me. In fact, they even say, our mothers used to say that the woman should not get involved in sexual intercourse when she's breastfeeding. But that is not true. As I said before, doctors said 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how you give birth. So do not starve your partner. in the name of, oh, I want to do exclusive for 1 year before, that would lead to a very big strain in your relationship, and that relationship needs to keep going and flourishing. You need to be happy in your mind as a person. You need to be okay with yourself. So forget about how fat you've gotten, how maybe you have stretch marks now, and just figure out ways to like understand that, okay, all my body went through all this to bring this beautiful baby. Look at the positive side. So you're not in a stressful place, which might lead you to not even want to think about sexual intimacy. Sexual intimacy is good for both you and your partner and even your baby. So we should constantly involve in it to help us in our postpartum journey. Like, it even acts as some kind of relief. So you should be doing it, right? After the 6 months mark and all these things that I've talked about have been taken care of, you should get involved in sexual activity with your partner. It's not good to have multiple partners, but if you're married and you have your partner, it is very important for your marriage. It's very important for the health of your child. It's very important for the well-being of your child, because your child will learn so much from you. I hope with these few facts that I've given you, you've learned something about postpartum sex, and it can help you have a better sexual relationship with your partner. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment on what you want us to talk about next. I know that I must have said everything that I've said, but there are some mothers who will have questions and concerns, and they will not want to drop it in the comment section because they feel, oh, everybody now is going to know that this is my problem. To help us on that particular thing, I'm going to be putting an anonymous link in the comments where you can leave a message, and even I will not know who sent that message. If I get up to 10 or 5 questions in our next video, I'm going to be answering those questions, and we'll be talking more about postpartum sex to help us just get the cat out of the bag. Let's talk about that thing which keeps us up in the night sometimes and makes us to feel like, oh, my relationship is going to fail because I can't do this. Those things which make us feel like, oh, my husband is going to go out because I can't do this. Let's talk about them and trash this challenge so that we can be fully present to take care of our kids that we love so much. I hope this video has been informative and has added some value to you. Thank you so much for watching till now. Nyango is your motherhood guide, and we are always here for you. So if you have questions, drop them in the comment section. If you want us to talk about something else, drop it in the comment section. Let's keep raising healthy moms with healthy homes to have a beautiful day. Bye.